Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Winged Dragon of Ra deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because the recent support that we got out of the Megatons for the Winged Dragon of Ra changed the way that I play this deck a lot. And I'm really excited to show you guys all those changes. This deck is super fun to be able to play because you get to summon out one of the 3 legendary Egyptian god cards. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of Notification Squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like getting your name scratched for every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of the Winged Dragon of Ra. This card is absolutely insane. It's just a really awesome card to be able to OTK your opponent with. It has the ability it cannot be special summoned, and requires 3 tributes to normal summon out this card to your side of the field, and it cannot be normal set. This card's normal summon cannot be negated, and when normal summoned, other cards and effects cannot be activated. And when this card is normal summoned, you can pay life points so you only have 100 left, and this card gains attack and defense equal to the amount that you paid. You can also pay 1,000 life points and then target one monster on the field and destroy that target, which is a great effect on this card because when you summon it to your side of the field with 8,000 life points, it'll come out at 7,900, almost being an OTK on its own. We then play 3 copies of the Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere Mode. Sphere Mode is a great 3 on the deck because it can help you out your opponent's field, and it's just an absolutely amazing card because if your opponent can't get rid of it, you get it back and it turns into the Winged Dragon of Ra, which is just really cool. We then play a single copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra Immortal Phoenix Mode, which with the new support, the True Sun God, made it super easy to actually summon this card and made it a really good combo piece. It has the ability that it cannot be normal summoned or set, it must be special summoned by its own effects, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. If the Winged Dragon of Ra is sent from the field to your graveyard while this card's in the graveyard, special summon this card, and cards and effects cannot be activated in response to this card's activation. And this card is unaffected by other card's effects. You can pay 1,000 life points and then send a monster on the field to the graveyard, and then once per turn during the end phase, send this card to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon the Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere Mode from your hand, deck, or graveyard, ignoring its summoning conditions, which is a really awesome thing because you go through the cycle of Ra, bringing it from the Sphere Mode to the Winged Dragon of Ra, back to Immortal Phoenix Mode, and then back through the loop all over again, which is really cool. We then play 3 copies of Guardian Slime. Guardian Slime is a really good card in the deck because it makes it super easy to make your copy of Egyptian God Slime with this card. This card is super easy to bring out to your side of the field because if you take battle or effect damage, you can special summon this card from your hand. And during damage calculation, if this card battles an opponent's monster, quick effect, you can make this card gain defense equal to that opponent's monster's attack. So you're always going to want to summon this card in face-up defense position. And then during that damage calculation only, it gains those points. And if this card is sent from your hand or field to the graveyard, you can add a spell or trap card from your deck to your hand that specifically lists the Winged Dragon of Ra in its text, which is a great effect to be able to search out a bunch of different cards in this build. I then play 3 copies of Reactor Slime. Reactor Slime is a really good 3 of the deck that help you bring out your copy of your Metal Reflect Slime to your side of the field. But this card also generates tokens, which makes it a little easier to tribute out your copy of Winged Dragon of Ra, because during your main phase, you can activate this effect to special summon out 2 slime tokens that are Aqua, Water, level 1, 500 attack, and 500 defense. Also, you cannot normal summon or special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except for Divine Beast monsters. And then during the battle phase, quick effect, you contribute this card to be able to set a Metal Reflect Slime from your hand, deck, or graveyard to your side of the field, and it can be activated this turn, so in main phase 2, you can get rid of it for your copy of Egyptian God Slime, which is really good. We then play 2 copies of Dark Beckoning Beast. Dark Beckoning Beast is a really good 2 of the deck because it has a really good effect that when this card is normal summoned, you can add 1 copy of Uriah, Haman, or Raviel, or 1 card that specifically lists those cards in its text from your deck to your hand, which is a great effect to be able to search out your copy of your Opening of the Spirit Gates, which is going to be the card you're always going to search off of your copy of your Dark Beckoning Beast because it'll give you an additional search and then an additional normal summon with your Dark Dark Beckoning Beast. This card has a really good effect that during the main phase, you also gain the ability that you can normal summon a Fiend monster with 0 attack and defense points in addition to your normal summon and set, which is a great effect because you can then normal summon out to your side of the field a copy of Chaos Summoning Beast. This is a really good card to be able to summon out to your side of the field because it's a level 1 monster and combos really well in the deck, because you can normal summon out your copy of Dark Beckoning Beast, search out a copy of Opening of the Spirit Gates, which will then search out your copy of Chaos Summoning Beast, normal summon this out to your side of the field, link it away for a Link Karibo, and then use your copy of Opening of the Spirit Gates to revive it back from the graveyard, making a copy of Relinquished Anima, which will give you 3 different types of monsters with a Fiend, a Cyverse, and a Spellcaster to link into a copy of Curious to be able to use Curious's effect, which is really insane to be able to do in this deck, to send a card from deck to grave, which helps out a lot to be able to send cards like your Immortal Phoenix mode directly from your deck to the graveyard, which is just super helpful in the deck. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is a really good 3-of in the deck to be able to stop the opponent from touching the deck, so it's a great 3-of in this build. And then we're playing 3 copies of DD Crow. DD Crow is just really good in this build to be able to banish cards from your opponent's graveyard that they might be trying to use for combos. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn is a great combo piece in the deck to be able to use with your copy of Millennium Revelation, but also a really good card overall in this build. We then play a single copy of Millennium Revelation. This card is searchable, which is why we just play it as a 1-of, unless you send a Divine Beast monster from your hand to the graveyard to add a Monster Reborn from your deck or graveyard to your hand. You can also send this face-up card to the graveyard, and this turn, you can special summon the Winged Dragon of Ra from your graveyard with Monster Reborn, ignoring its summoning conditions, which is a awesome effect to be able to do. It also has the ability during the end phase of the turn this effect was activated, you must send the Winged Dragon of Ra you control that was special summoned with Monster Reborn back to the graveyard, which is a really awesome effect that both of the other 2 Egyptian God cards have, that when they're special summoned they go back to the graveyard. We then play 3 copies of the new awesome Winged Dragon of Ra card, the True Sun God. This card is absolutely insane, and it's just so good for the deck because it actually searches out Ra. It has the ability that when this card is activated, you can add the Winged Dragon of Ra or one card that mentions it from your deck to your hand, except a copy of the True Sun God. And monsters except the Winged Dragon of Ra cannot attack this turn, the turn they are special summoned. And then once per turn during the main phase, you can send this card from the field or the Winged Dragon of Ra Immortal Phoenix mode from your deck to the graveyard, and then send the Winged Dragon of Ra from your monster zone to the graveyard, which sets up for your effect of Immortal Phoenix by sending the Winged Dragon of Ra from your field to the graveyard. If it's already in the grave, we'll put it back on the field, which is really cool for this card to be able to do. We then play 3 copies of Soul Crossing. Soul Crossing is really insane because it pretty much turns the Winged Dragon of Ra into a kaiju, which is just really cool because you contribute your opponent's monsters to be able to summon out the Winged Dragon of Ra. But until the end of the next turn after this card resolves, you can only activate 1 card or effect this turn, not counting the effect of a Divine Beast monster, which is a really neat thing for this card to be able to do to let you tribute out your copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra, which is really nice to be able to use this card and set it to your side of the field, and then tribute over 3 of your opponent's monsters to summon out the Winged Dragon of Ra and attack directly. I then play 3 copies of Ancient Chant. Ancient Chant is just a really good 3 in the deck because it lets you add the Winged Dragon of Ra from your deck or graveyard to your hand, and if you do, you can tribute summon 1 monster during your main phase this turn in addition to your normal summoner set, and you only gain this effect once per turn. You can also banish this card from the graveyard, and if you tribute summon the Winged Dragon of Ra this turn, its original attack defense become the combined original attack defense of the monsters tributed for its summon, which is a really cool effect because if you tribute off, say, Egyptian God Slime, it'll start out with 3,000 attack points, then you use its effect to pay the 7,900, and it'll come out at 10,900, which is absolutely amazing. We then play 3 copies of Opening of the Spirit Gates. Opening of the Spirit Gates is a really cool card because when this card is activated, you can add your Dark Beckoning Beast or your copy of your Chaos Beast from your deck to your hand, which is a great effect. And also, once per turn, you can discard any card from your hand to special summon a Fiend monster with 0 attack and 0 defense from your graveyard, which is a great effect to be able to use on this card to get your card back to your side of the field so you can link summon into Curious. It also has the ability, if you control control a level 10 monster, which the Winged Dragon of Ra is, you can add a continuous spell from your graveyard back to your hand, which is a cool effect to be able to use with the true Sun God. So that's it for these spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're just going to be playing a few traps, and that's going to be a single copy of Metal Reflect Slime, because it is searchable off of Reactor Slime, which is why we play this card as a 1-of in this build, and it helps us make our copy of Egyptian God Slime extremely easily. We then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, because it's just a really good hand trap to stop the opponent from using monster effects, so we can go in for an OTK. This card is really good as a 3-of in this build. So that's it for the traps, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Egyptian God Slime. This card is a really awesome card and super easy to summon to your side of the field, because it must first be either a fusion summon or a special summon from the extra deck by attributing a level 10 Aqua monster with 0 attack, which is either Guardian Slime or a Metal Reflect Slime that you're going to be attributing to summon out this card. But the really cool effect on this card is this card can be either treated as 1 or 3 tributes to tribute summon a monster, which is really cool for this card to be able to do, because you can just instantly summon out the Winged Dragon of Ra to your side of the field by attributing this card. It also cannot be destroyed by battle, and your opponent's monsters cannot target it for attacks. And your opponent cannot target, it cannot be destroyed by battle, and your opponent's monsters cannot target for attacks, and your opponent's monsters cannot target with card effects monsters you control, except for Egyptian God Slime, giving the rest of your monsters protection, which is really good. We then play a single copy of Appaloosa, because you can make it in this deck to be able to just have multiple monster negates in this build. 1 copy of Access Code, because Access Code is just really good to be able to give you multiple pops on the field. So this card is a really good card. You can play Boral Sword or Boral Load instead if you want to, which is an option for you guys. We then play a single copy of Curious, because you can summon this card out really easily off of normal summoning out one of your copy of Dark Beckoning Beast to your side of the field, and it can help you get a monster or a card from deck to graveyard, which is really nice, and get you a mill 3. We then play a single copy of Unicorn to spin stuff, Phoenix to pop spells on traps, IP Masquerade to be able to make Unicorn during the opponent's turn to spin a card, 1 copy of Cross Sheet, because you do summon Egyptian God Slime, so you can revive a level 4 monster from the graveyard to your side of the field, which is really cool. 1 copy of Link Rebo, because you're going to make this card with your copy of Chaos Summoning Beast, and 1 copy of Relinquished Anima, because you're also going to make this card with Chaos Summoning Beast, and then you're going to link away this card, your copy of your Link Rebo, and a copy of your Dark Beckoning Beast to be able to summon out your copy of Curious, which is super cool in this deck. We then play a single copy of number 35. Number 35 gets absolutely massive after you pay the 7,900 for your copy of your Ra, because it has the ability all monsters you control gain attack and defense equal the difference between your life points and your opponent's life points, which is really crazy for this card to be able to do, because when you pay all those life points, it's just going to equal attack gain for this card. We then play a single copy of Gustav Max, because it does 2,000 burn damage. We play a single copy of Juggernaut Lieb. Lieb is really good because you can overlay it on top of a copy of your Gustav Max to be able to have a big monster to be able to attack the opponent. And then finally, a single copy of Double A Zeus. Double A Zeus is just really good to board wipe the field just in case you need to. And plus, you can make it super easy with your copy of Gustav Max and Juggernaut Lieb. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a really fun deck to be able to play with. If you guys have never played with the Winged Dragon of Ra, I definitely recommend this deck. It's super fun to be able to play, especially this build with the true Sun God finally being in the game. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you can come part of our notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.